Good evening, everyone. My name is Heryang Lee, and today I'll be presenting on my capstone, Understanding the BART Effect, Capital Construction Bid Trends and its Impact. So the BART effect is an unofficial terminology used by staff describing low bid turnout and high awarded costs observed in capital project procurement. My evaluation focused on three questions. First, to what extent is this effect observable in the past 10 years? What is the magnitude of cost discrepancy between estimates and awarded bids? And lastly, what characteristics are common among these contracts? To evaluate the impact of the BART effect, both quantitative and qualitative methods were employed. So I first developed a data set from 10 years of executive decision documents processed in board meetings, where cost trends, bidding dynamics, and project characteristics were analyzed for a grand total of 157 awarded contracts. The results were then supplemented by staff interviews and literature review to contextualize the findings. First, I will highlight the trend on cost discrepancy that was observed. These two charts on this slide help illustrate the gap between the engineer's cost estimate and the actual awarded contract price. Data points above zero indicate awarded bids exceeding the cost estimates, while below indicates under. The left chart shows percentage difference and highlights a consistently high variability. On average, awarded bids were slightly below the estimate, but as you can see, there are several extreme cases, like contract awarded at double the estimate, noted at 108%, indicating a significant mismatch in cost overrun. The right chart reframes this in dollar terms. So while most discrepancy stayed within $2 million, there are contracts which were awarded higher than the cost estimate by more than $10 million, as shown by the red data points. These high cost deviations, although they are rare outliers, they represent an overpayment of up to $100 million in total. Now, in terms of the bid environment, if we focus on the pie chart on the slide, it was observed that out of the 157 total number of contracts, over 60% received 1 to 3 bids, and amongst that, 11% of the contracts only had 1 bid, basically a low or no competition bidding environment. On the right, the bubble chart shows the distribution of bids received per contract, while the bubble size reflects the frequency of the occurrence. And what's interesting in this trend representation actually is that in addition to low competition, there's a steady decrease in average number of bids received, going from 5 to 3 over the past 10 years. But do note that sample sizes vary year to year, and they were smaller during and after the pandemic. So the low competition outcomes were common for highly specialized projects at BART, where limited contractor availability and strict requirements reduce participation. However, what I want to note is that based on staff interviews and literature reviews that I conducted, low competition is actually not unique to BART. It is experienced at other public agencies and even at state-level DOTs. Lastly, to tie the cost discrepancy to bidding environment, this chart confirms a key correlation amongst the awarded contracts at BART. As the number of bids increases from 1 to 6, the average cost discrepancy decreases, as you can see. In other words, more competition do drive cost-efficient outcomes. Again, as the number of bids exceeds 6, the trend is no longer linear due to lack of sample size amongst the data set. So, the key takeaway is that this evaluation doesn't solve the BART effect, right? But it does lay the foundation for understanding it. And data is a very essential part for assessing procurement performance and guiding data-driven decisions. Moving forward, BART should standardize how it collects and uses procurement data and invest in the resources such as time, staffing, and training that are needed to analyze it. There is an opportunity for BART to better align its contracting practices with public funds and build trust through transparency and continuous improvement. Thank you.